What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm checking out the latest Evercade Giga Cart release, Gremlin Collection 2. This one brings together a mix of gritty action, quirky humour and fast-paced racing, all from the minds at Gremlin Interactive. If you grew up during the PlayStation era, you'll probably recognise a few titles on this cart. We've got intense top-down shooting, a tactical war game with pigs, and a bright, bouncy off-road racer. It's a pretty eclectic collection and one that shows off just how experimental and diverse Gremlin could be during the 90s. In today's video, I'll be reviewing each game individually, looking at the gameplay, graphics, sound, and how long they take to beat, and then I'll give a final verdict on each. And once we've covered all four, I'll wrap it up with my overall thoughts on the cartridge. Loaded is a gritty, top-down violent shooter featuring 6 mercenaries battling through grotesque sci-fi environments. Each character has unique weapons and special attacks, a skull trap, flamethrower or a plasma gun, adding depth to the frantic action. Levels have branching paths and surprise ambushes, keeping you on guard throughout. Combat is chaotic and satisfying, with waves of enemies, traps and occasional puzzles that break up the gunplay. It definitely feels like a product of its time, and that's part of the charm. It's simple, visceral fun that doesn't try to be anything else. The game delivers dark, detailed pixel art with splashes of neon for sci-fi flair. Environments are packed with gruesome details, pools of blood, mutant creatures and decaying tech. Character sprites are large and well animated, and the screen always feels busy but readable. For a top-down game from the mid-90s, it holds up surprisingly well. There's a sense of grime and grit in the visuals that add to the atmosphere. Heavy industrial music sets an intense tone, supported by chunky sounds, gun blasts, monster roars and character grunts. Loaded's audio is aggressively atmospheric, and it really contributes to the sense of chaos. The soundtrack isn't super varied, but what's here fits the tone like a glove. It's loud, unapologetic, and a bit overwhelming, but in a good way. Loaded runs around 45 minutes to an hour for a single playthrough. With multiple characters and level paths, it offers decent replay value for those who want to try different weapons or routes. Loaded is a violent, visceral shooter with addictive design and a lot of personality, but unfortunately it hasn't aged well at all. With that in mind, I'm going to give this one 3 out of 5. Reloaded picks up where the first game left off. It keeps that same twin-stick style shooting action, but adds more complex levels, tougher enemies and some new mechanics like weapon loadouts. It's a bit more strategy this time, and it's a welcome evolution. You can still pick from a roster of misfit characters, and each one feels slightly different thanks to varied weapon types. Some of the difficulty spikes can be frustrating though, but if you enjoyed Loaded, you'll likely enjoy this one even more. Visually, Reloaded is a noticeable upgrade. Environments are more varied, with brighter colours and more imaginative locations. There's more detail everywhere, from the UI to the way explosions and enemy deaths are animated. Character designs are still grotesque and over the top, but everything looks a little sharper and less cluttered than in the first game. The soundtrack has more layers this time, still gritty and aggressive, but with a little bit more variety. Sound effects have also been tightened up, explosions have more punch, and different weapon types are easier to distinguish. Voice lines and ambient effects help build the tension and atmosphere even further. It feels more like a complete package than the first game. Length is similar, around 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your skill and how much exploring you do. There's a bit more incentive to replay here thanks to the more open-ended levels though. A solid sequel that refines and expands on what Loaded did. More polished, more balanced, and just as outrageous. I'm going to give this one 3.5 out of 5. Hogs of War takes a hard left turn from the first two games. It's a 3D turn-based strategy game where you control a squad of pigs fighting in World War I style conflict. Each pig has a class, and you'll take turns moving around the battlefield, lining up shots and trying to outmaneuver the enemy. It's a slower paced game but highly tactical. Positioning, weapon choice and timing all matter. There's even a level up system that lets your pigs become specialists. It's one of the more unique takes on turn-based combat to this day, and the humour helps take the edge off the challenge. The visuals are classic PS1 3D, blocky for sure but full of charm. The pigs are expressive, the maps are colourful, and there's just enough variety in the terrain to keep it interesting. On the Evercade hardware, it runs really well. Smooth animations, no major hiccups, and the colours pop nicely on both handheld and TV. This is where the game shines. The voice acting's quite funny, filled with over-the-top British accents and wartime banter. It's like Blackadder meets Worms, and the comedy works really well, even today.
Take this, bourgeoisie.
Music and effects are relatively simple but suit the action well, with satisfying explosions, squeals and pig-related quips that never get old.
I don't like foreigners. You know the drill by now, yeah.
This is the longest game on the cartridge, with a full campaign that can take around 5 to 6 hours, add in multiplayer mode and you've got yourself a ton of value here.
Pay attention.
Hogs of War is one of the best turn-based strategy games of its generation. Quirky, challenging and surprisingly deep. I give this one 4 out of 5. Buggy is a light-hearted off-road racing game that focuses more on fun than realism. You'll zip around dirt tracks, fly off ramps and smash through barrels. It's got that 90s arcade energy in spades. Handling is responsive, though a little floaty, and the AI is competitive without feeling unfair. There are time trials, lap races and a few alternative game modes that give the experience some variety. Buggy has a chunky PS1 style look that's clean and readable. The vehicle models are simple but clear, and the courses are surprisingly diverse, from canyons to forests to snowy hills. It might not be the most impressive looking racer, but it gets the job done, and the smooth frame rate helps the sense of speed. Upbeat tunes accompany your races, and the sound effects are what you'd expect. Engine roars, tyre skids and the occasional crash. It doesn't do anything groundbreaking, but it fits the style perfectly. You can complete the main game in about 30 to 40 minutes, but it's the kind of title you'll return to for a quick race or two. It's a good breather between the heavier titles in this collection. Buggy is fun, fast and easy to pick up, even if it's not particularly deep. A nice palate cleanser to round off the cartridge. I give this one a 4 out of 5. So there you have it, that's every game on Gremlin Collection 2. It's a really unique set. You've got dark, chaotic shooters in Loaded and Reloaded, strategic World War I style warfare with a comedic twist in Hogs of War, and a light, arcade style racer in Buggy. While not every game will be for everyone, it's a cartridge that leans into the variety of 90s gaming, especially for fans of the original PlayStation era. Some of these games hold up better than others, and there are a few rough edges here, particularly in terms of pacing and polish. But the value of having 4 vastly different games in one cartridge can't be denied, especially if you're into gritty, experimental side of mid-90s gaming. Overall, I'm giving the Gremlin Collection 2 a solid 3.5 out of 5. It's not perfect, but it's full of personality, ambition, and that unmistakable Gremlin charm. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. Let me know which game you're most excited to revisit, or maybe even try for the first time. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.